So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on the topic, Maximizing the Financial Impact of the PMO. My name is Dr. Carine Malor, and I will be serving as your moderator and also a speaker for today's session. I am a project management professional with a strong background in data analytics, strategy execution, and organizational performance. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to My passion is helping PMOs evolve from cost centers to strategic drivers of financial and business value. I am delighted you have joined us for this important conversation. Let me add that there is an exciting Kahoot quiz ahead, and the winner of the quiz gets the PMOGI Elite membership worth $89 for free. So we encourage you to stay with us till the end. To set the stage for our conversation, we are privileged to have Zipporah Wanjiku with us today. Zipporah is a PMP certified project leader with over 10 years of experience delivering transformative financial technological solutions across Africa. She has a strong track record in bridging technical and business teams to deliver customer-focused banking and payment solutions. Academically, Zipporah holds a Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering and is currently pursuing a master's degree in Data Analytics and Project Management at Aberdeen University in the UK. In addition, she is a certified project management professional, a certified baseline PMO trainer, and an authorized business partner instructor. And Zipporah will begin with a presentation that would give us practical insights into how PMOs can maximize financial impact. After her presentation, we would move into a panel discussion where we will dive deeper into key themes and take your questions as well. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me welcome Zipporah Wanjiku to give us her presentation. Over to you, Zipporah.
Thank you, Carine. Thank you for such a wonderful introduction. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening from everywhere around the globe. I am Zipporah. Carine has just introduced me. I will be hosting you. I'll be the speaker for today's webinar. I'm so grateful to be having such a privilege to offer this webinar and also to ensure that I offer what knowledge that I have, what experience that I have around project management and project management offices. So in this capacity today, I am serving as the host, and also I am a PMO Global Certified Trainer working with PMO Global very closely. Yeah. So today we are going to be looking at the maximizing the value of the financial impact of the PMO. Basically, if we are to look at what a PMO is, all the time the PMO is not concerned or not involved in the bottom line of finances for any organization. But in this particular webinar, we are also not going to emphasize that PMO should be contributing financially to an organization. We just want to move the perspective of PMOs from what it is known to be. So basically, we will look at what is the definition of a PMO. And we have very many definitions of what a PMO is. For this particular webinar, I want us to focus on what PMI Institute through its PM book defines a PMO to be, and what Prince 2 defines a PMO to be, and what PMO Global Institute is now defining a PMO to be. So from the PM book, a PMO is a structure within the organization. It's not nothing else, is a structure within a management structure within the organization that helps organizations to deliver their projects within the right process, and then facilitating the right resources, methodologies, tools, and techniques. But what about Prince 2? Prince 2 defines a PMO as a temporary office. So like you can see already, one defines it as a management structure. The other one defines it as a temporary office. Let's go to PMO Global. What are they saying? PMO Global defines a project management office as a centralized department within an organization that oversees the management of project-related activities. It serves as a strategic partner, and that is where this webinar is all about. It is about viewing the PMO office as a strategic partner to any organization that has a PMO. So when we look at the traditional definition, and I don't call it traditional by any bad means, I'm just saying from the PM book, what we are used to, and from Prince 2, what we have seen there is that a project management office will then be limited to being an administrative function that supports project execution, documents projects, trains after project, establishes and maintains project standards, provide guidance for project execution, manages the budget, becomes a central management service, coordinates project resources, support managers, and even in the LinkedIn comment here, section here, you can also provide additional functions of an administrative function of the PMO, just what we are used to. What are we reporting every day when we go to report? I'm saying I'm within, so my PMO office is just ensuring all project managers have a project. So that's a resource management aspect of the PMO. But today we want to look at the project management as what are those loopholes that are causing us to say that can we start pushing people to think of a PMO as a as a strategic partner to an organization rather than an administrative function. So when we have the PMO as a traditional administrative function, these are the weaknesses. There is a difference. There is a very great gap between what the organization is looking at in terms of a strategic functional outcome and what the PMO should deliver in terms of its project. There's also an overemphasis on tactical delivery. And what is tactical delivery? Just ensuring that projects are completed, and that's all. And then there is insufficient financial literacy. Most of the time, project management staff are not trained on the finances. They have to go back to the finance office to define most of these financial things or even calculate them. Then there is the perception that the PMO is a cost center, checking boxes. We are beyond the budget, we are under the budget. And then there is rigid governance, and then again, lack of predictive analysis. Most of the time, the status updates are given on Excel or on a very simplified application or software. So today we want to focus on the PMO as a strategic partner. What does that transition look like? That transition looks like, okay, when we look at the PMO as a strategic partner, that transition looks like the PMO becomes a bridge between the organizational strategy and what the organizational strategy execution is, working with an organizational champion. So the PMO stops working as a simple department, as a simplified, siloed, independent function within the organization to being a strategic partner, one that is concerned with the strategic goals of that organization. So their work is to align that strategy to all projects. Their work is to offer value for those strategic goals to all projects. Their work is also to ensure that there is executive partnership between them and the organization they are serving. They become more of like an independent organization, sub-organization within the organization that can be measured for what value it is bringing within the organization. And then there is real-time insights and portfolio governance. Probably from the LinkedIn comment section, you can also include additional comments or additional elements that you feel that when the PMO is a strategic partner within the organization, where it pushes for the organizational strategy, what are the benefits? What are those things that the PMO can do in terms of in contributing to the financial value of that PMO, not any other element, but the financial value of that PMO. So now, when the PMO is a strategic partner to an organization, what happens? There is the PMO financial value. Why do we need the PMO to have financial value to the organization? Because most organizations are profit organizations, and the PMO is expected to constantly be there to ensure that there is financial productivity through the projects that are delivered. So what are we saying? That the PMO has to move now from being a control center to being an enabler of change, an enabler of transformation, an enabler of disruption, an enabler of innovation. Then projects, again, the PMO has to move from being project-oriented, just delivering and closing projects, to ensuring that there is outcome that can be measured. We can measure the value of the outcomes that we offer through projects. And then the PMO also transitions from gut reporting that the PM can report because their project is here in this status, there is no standards, there is no framework to measure that, there is no repeatability. They can manage a project one way and another and one way. Then we have data-driven insights because there is integration of technology. And then from being an isolated department to being a department that is integrated to the organizational strategy. Then finally, from being tactical, just delivering anything, to being transformational, ensuring that prioritization is key and projects that are delivered have high priority and high revenue and high value. So in the LinkedIn comment section, you can also provide additional things you feel the why you need your PMO to transition from being the traditional administrative function to the modern day, or what you are proposing here, being a strategic partner to that organization. So when we have a PMO that is a strategic partner, what do we expect in terms of the PMO itself? It becomes an entity that now can be measured for maturity. How can we trust you with this strategy? If the organization has a very, very high and complex strategy to deliver, can we trust our PMO? Is it mature enough to deliver our strategic goals or objectives? So do we have the right technology? And are we measuring what matters as a PMO? Are we prioritizing our talent growth and retention? Because for a PMO to be mature, we expect that the talent growth is very key and there is retention, so that people don't just come and go. We train people and they go. We will have a very great learning curve, and that will affect the outcome. And then it means that encouraging the PMO for a performance assessment. The PMO itself encourages itself. That just like the way we go for performance reviews, the PMO itself goes for a performance assessment. So again, in the LinkedIn comment, I'm encouraging you to give one or two additionals to what you feel the PMO maturity looks like, if your organization is there yet. So now probably someone is listening to me and thinking, well, what are those, what is the change, what is different, or what will we do to make sure that our PMOs have the right, are delivering the right things, are not just administrative functions that we change. There is a lot of learning curve in this process, but then again, the learning curve will start with the PMO agreeing that we need some maturity metrics for each and every project and for ourselves as a department. For instance, as a portfolio, the number of projects we have within us, can we measure their performance and give a realistic value that has been achieved to the organization? How well are we ensuring that we deliver projects on value and a return on investment is achieved for that organization? For instance, you can find an organization where the portfolio for all the projects, there is no way of combining the impact or the value for all of them. They only come as independence based on what the PM has reported, which is also something that is drawing them back from achieving their financial impact or their financial value to that organization. Then there is cost efficiency and financial stewardship. How effectively are we managing the project budget and reducing waste? For instance, do you have any projects that you have closed in the recent past that were not contributing? You saw that if we completed this project, there will be no value for this organization. They are already over budget. There is too much about them, and then the value, the outcome of them will not even contribute to what the present market is requiring. Have you ever closed a project because you want to avoid cost, or have foreseen a loss in that project? How many? What happened? What did you learn from them? Then there is portfolio level and value. Do you have that and value for the portfolio? Then there are three others, like the schedule adherence. Are all your projects adhering to the course? Do they have a framework they follow to know whether schedule is achieved or whether productivity is improved? Do they have a framework that all of them follow, or do you rely on your own project managers? And the head of project management is there waiting to passively hear what they are doing and not actively monitor through probably a technology or a tool that can help them see the overview of the big picture or the project. And then there is risk and failure reduction and strategic alignment and investment optimization. So basically what we are saying, our project management office needs to have financial value in terms of being a strategic partner who can manage scope creep and any other estimated cost. You need a way of giving or running about early warnings. Is there a risk in this project? And then these early warnings should not come because a project manager has reported. You need to have a big picture, a way of seeing the big picture in front of your screen, probably through an application like a software that will help you track all your projects, and then have dashboards that report the CPIs and SPIs for each and every project and for the overall portfolio. Then there is inconsistent risk management. Are you dealing with the same risks in all the projects? But because different project managers handle them differently, there is no standard way of looking at risks to help you probably reprioritize or do such things like as core of a project. As such things, then there is lack of strategic alignment. What exactly has been shared with the project management office and what has been shared with the project management teams? What do they know about that project? Who do they know as the stakeholder, the executive stakeholder who needs this project, and what is that the executive stakeholder's strategic objective for the organization? So probably, and then there is missing real-time and accurate project performance. One of the things that a strategic partner needs is to have real-time and accurate performance metrics or KPIs. You need to see what you are doing, because any strategic relationship is very key to both parties. You need to see what you are doing, and the party needs to obtain value from what you are giving them. So as a PMO, do you have real time, or do you wait for bi-weekly or weekly status reports to know what value or what is the performance of one project and then another before you combine them? Then there is so much time that you never even combine the value to see how the project management office is doing on itself. Then on the LinkedIn section, you can also probably include other common PMO financial value pitfalls that our organizations are running into because of remaining rigid to the traditional administrative function that we are used to. Yeah, from this particular webinar, my key takeaways are for project management offices and organizations to obtain value from their PMOs, then they need to focus on data-driven financial accountability. I said in the beginning of this webinar, we are dealing with only the financial impact. You can look at a PMO from very many aspects, but in this particular webinar, we are looking at the financial impact of PMOs. So focus on data-driven financial accountability. Is the PMO financially accountable for all the projects that are within their pipelines? Can they say we have a percentage of 90 of all projects that have cost saved, like 30% of the budgeted amount? Can you go to that granularity of saying, this is how much we have saved, this is how much we have avoided? And then you go to acceleration of value delivery. Delivering value goes beyond completing a project and stopping at that. Delivering value means even the stakeholders themselves, the people who are involved, have given back their feedback and they are saying, we have a very high level of satisfaction from what you have given us. And our output, our process, probably we were saying, customer service should be at 90% through this, 90% customer satisfaction through this particular project. Are they responding the same way? Well, using this system, are they seeing that value? Then observing cost efficiency and avoidance. Cost efficiency meaning, are we focusing on the right resources? Are we paying for the right projects? Are we prioritizing the right strategic objectives and projects? Are we arranging them well? Do we have the right metrics in place in terms of knowing what is the cost and measuring it? And then the strategic alignment and investment optimization. At the end of the day, just like a person who belongs to any home, you need to contribute to that family. You need to feel, they need to feel your impact. So what are we doing to the strategic objectives of an organization as a PMO? What are we doing to their investment optimization? Every project that has a budget is an investment from the organization. So are we giving them value for that investment? So for today, I want to thank everyone for participating and also remind everyone that it is time that we stop observing and feeling that there is so much disruption in the way project management should run, to ensuring that we become a strategic partner. Even if it will be a proposal to your organization, just make sure you start moving and preparing yourself to move. Whatever does not get measured never gets done. If you never measure the financial accountability of your projects and your PMO, that work will be done in a very, very low level and dissatisfaction way. But when you measure that, then you improve every time, every day. And the maturity of that PMO grows and increases, and you become reliable. You stop being called for meetings just to go and take notes. Yeah, that's the end of the presentation. Thank you so much, Carine, and thank you so much, everyone who has listened in.
Great. Thank you so much, Zipporah, for such an insightful presentation. Indeed, you have laid a strong foundation for discussion this afternoon. And then let me just add at this point that even though this event is organized by the African community, we are joined by community members across the globe. And then we would be happy to have you tell us where you are joining us from. You could put it in the chat, and then we'd welcome you. And we are happy that you are with us. If you have any suggestions, you can also put it in the chat. So before we transition into our panel discussion, where Zipporah and I will explore some key questions around maximizing the financial impact of the PMO, I would be happy to remind you once more that we have an exciting quiz ahead, and the winner gets the PMO Elite membership worth $89 for free. So now let's delve into our panel discussion now, Zipporah. I know you've touched on some points. You've laid a good foundation as well. But then let's start with the big picture. In your view, so let's now go deeper. How can PMOs demonstrate measurable financial value to the organization's bottom line? In your own view, how can that be achieved?
Yeah, thank you so much, Carine, also for this question. Basically, I would say you start by evaluating your project management office now and see how well and how best is it matching to the financial KPIs of your organization. Because like I said, every project is an investment from the organization. We want to see what are the financial KPIs for this organization, and given that they have already invested in this project, how efficiently are we delivering or using this cost? Are we managing the cost of this organization? Then again, you want to see what is the value that is coming out of it. Like you go to the shop and buy something, the same thing. You want to see what value did I get as an organization? What did the organization get from investing in this particular project? So for me, I would say just ensure you evaluate, assess your project management office now, how mature it is, and then see how you will refocus and look into including financial KPIs in every project. Thank you.
Great. I agree with you on that. You're very right. Let me just add that in my view, I think PMOs can demonstrate value when they link project outcomes directly to benefits. You know, as we know, most of the times we looked at that in silo. But I think when we begin to link it, then because and then that also means that we need to have a framework, a benefit realization framework. Then we link our project outcomes to that framework. That would be able to help us save some dollars and avoid further losses. So then let's take another. Let me just say that if you have any questions, you could kindly put it in the chat. I noticed one, we would get there. It's on AI. So I'm sure, Zipporah, it will be an exciting conversation to look at that. So now let's look at, I know you said a lot about data and then matrix, and I know that you and I know that alignment is critical, right? But then it has to be backed by evidence, not so. And then that's where data comes in. Okay, so with that background, in what ways do you think we can leverage performance metrics? You've already outlined that in the presentation, right? Okay, but how can we practicalize it? Leverage those metrics and analytics to improve financial decision making. My favorite is SPI, but then how can we leverage on those? Yeah, so that's my question to you.
So yeah, thank you, Carine. Thank you again. So for a project management office that is a strategic partner to an organization, even informing itself on how it is doing is key. I want to know before close of business today, where are we? So one of the first and most important things I would say is have a way of measuring PMO financial impact real time. And PMO Global has given us a great software. There is something called baseline PMO software
Yeah.
by Aspire, PM Aspire. So such a software, when you load all your project there, you can see resource optimization at a glance. One good thing about it is that there is also AI predictivity. You can predict, even if you have a small amount of data, you can still predict by training some models that will run how your data sits for each and every project and have an overview picture of what the projects are doing. So what I'm saying is have a way of measuring your financial impact and then align your financial impact with the finance team, collaborate with the finance team because they are holding the financial strategic objective of the organization. So yeah, two things. Yeah. Thank you, Carine.
Great, thank you. I agree with you. I also had the predictive analytics part in my mind. And to add to that, end value management is a great tool that can give the leadership forward-looking visibility over the project, not just what are the numbers, but what values are we creating. So I believe we can add that as well. And then our PMOs will not just become, a reporter of past data. What are the numbers saying? No, but it will actually guide future decisions. So let's take one more question, and then we go to participants and then hear from them. Right. So let's look at perception and value. You can have all the great plans, you can have all the great values, but then perception plays a lot, right? Okay. So now my question is that even when PMOs create value and our stakeholders, so we are part of this PMO thing, we always create value. Everything we do is about value, right? But sometimes our stakeholders just are not able to recognize that. Okay. Now, and we don't have time to explain to them. So, in your view, how can PMOs evolve from being seen as cost centers? Because that's what happens. You touched it a bit anyway, but then how can we move from that side? It's about perception at this point. Move from cost centers and be recognized that truly we are creating value, and then we bring something to the strategic decisions. How can that be achieved? Yeah. And that will be my final question. So participants, if you have your questions and then you would like to speak, we'll give you some few minutes, or you want to put it in the chat, then we can also do that. So Zipporah, let's talk about perceptions and value.
Okay, thank you again, Carine, for that. It is true. There is already an existing perception that PMOs are administrative centers, they're functions, they're just cost centers. They are there to just, it's like keep boundaries. Our cost should not go beyond. Our schedule should not go below. We are just there to keep boundaries, monitor them like PMO or functional policies for projects. But yeah, in order to shift that, then we need to do some training. We also need to do some training for the organizations and training for the individuals running the PMO and working within PMO. And PMO Global has really great trainings for the PMO baseline. You can understand where you sit. You can also have something like a PMO maturity assessment done just for that organization. If you start an engagement with any partner, training partner from PMO Global, you will have an assessment done for your organization. Where are you and where do you want to go? So if you know where you want to go, moving from an administrative function, because that may not be entirely the role that a PMO will play. A PMO right now, if it's an administrative function unit, it probably never even sits in the strategic meetings for that company. So we just need to have organizations know this, start hearing this, and start seeing trainings happening for them, and then work with them to pilot probably from 2 to 3 projects and then move with them and see how they are maturing up. Yeah, but there is that. You have to also show the organization during such trainings. They need to move their PMO from being a control center to most of those things, the buzzwords we are hearing, that there is transformation, digitalization, there is all these things, decentralization of services, you need to show them that the PMO, when it is a strategic partner, it will enable you. And this is a training that you need as an organization, and much more so as a strategic executive team of an organization, just so that we all move and get around to the same speech. At the end of the day, we want to know how mature is our PMO, how maturing, what is the cycle of its maturity, that it can handle extremely complex and extremely important strategic objectives at any given point. Yes.
Great. I love that. Yes, training is key. Everything you begin in training. So let me add to that. And this is actually from experience. When you find yourself in an organization that always think that the PMO is a cost center, you have to devise a strategy to be speaking value. Everything you are doing should be value. You go for the meetings, you are giving them the updates. It's not just about what savings we are making or what percentage we are. No. So we speak about value. So we have created this value, and that has saved the company so amount or so problems. And then once you begin to speak that, so every time you meet with them, you are talking about value. Every time you meet with them, you are speaking about value. I think it would work. Well, I have seen it work at several of my organizations. We meet at the discussion table. I'm not telling you about 50%, 30%. No. What does that mean to the business? What does that mean to the profit? So I know that when we try to do that, that perception would change over time. So we just give it time, and then it will happen. So yes, that brings us to the conversation that we wanted to have to add some flesh to the presentation that you have received from Zipporah. So yes, at this point, let's take some questions from our participants, and then let me check. I spotted one question. I would like to look it up. It's on artificial intelligence. We all know where we are going right now. So, okay, so I think I lost it. Okay, so Zipporah, there's a question. It's from Eugene. He says, do you think AI-enabled PMOs would be better positions to demonstrate financial value faster? That is a question from Eugene. What do you think about that? I'll take it again. He wants to know if AI-enabled PMOs will be better positions to demonstrate financial value faster. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, thank you, Carine, and thank you to our listener there. AI-enabled PMOs are where actually every organization that is looking as a PMO, as a strategic partner, should look to going. One thing is that PMOs don't work because they are called PMOs. There are resources there. If you have an AI-enabled PMO, it means that even the resources are well trained and equipped to use any AI tool that will help them. They have the right training, probably Gen AI, prompt engineering. They know these things, how they will help their daily tasks, their routine jobs, and they know how to use the AI again for their long-term or their daily work. For instance, when you're working with an IT company, like what I do, you want your coders, you want your developers to develop in the fastest time possible, deliver value in the fastest time possible. So you look for the development skills that will help them integrate AI into their coding, into their evaluation of their code or code reviews, and then again into the quality review of their code and the product itself. So yes, a PMO that is AI enabled will deliver financial impact even faster. And like I said, it is what most of the PMOs that are looking forward to having that financial value accounted for. That is where we should be going. That's a good question from that user. And yeah, I feel that if most organizations start now, you assess where you are, you will be ready in the next 4, 5, 3 years, because it depends again with what the senior strategic team is feeling. If AI is something you want to embrace, then start now to assess where your PMO is. Start now to know where your team is. Start now to know where your projects are and what do you want to see from your projects. If you want to see results daily, even when you wake up from your sleep, then you need AI-enabled PMOs. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, and then I agree with you on that. I mean, you are spot on. What I keep saying that I'll add is that, you and I know that for projects, it's about tools and techniques. So there are a lot of tools, and for us, AI or machine learning, whatever it is a tool that would make us do things faster. So a PMO that is AI driven would achieve 4 times more value than a PMO that is not. So that's just how I look at it. So you might want to put some investments in there and empower your PMO to deliver results for you, like you said. I mean, by a click of a button, you see the value that the PMO is creating for you. So yes, that is an insightful perspective from Zipporah. So thank you, Zipporah, for your insightful thoughts. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are happy to take questions from you. If you want to speak, yes, we would love that. If you also want to put it in the chat, you are free to do so. So let's take some few questions, then we can wrap up. Okay, let me check if there's any other question in the chat. Okay, and then what's the best way? Okay. Okay, so that's an interesting question there, Zipporah. It's from Edson. He says, if the ultimate goal of a PMO is to deliver value, why do we need to introduce the concept of a VMO? You have an idea what? So Edson, I don't want to assume I know what you're talking about. So just let us know what you mean by VMO. All right. So while we wait for him, there's another question from Eugene again. So Zipporah says, what's the best way to ensure portfolio funding stays aligned when strategy shifts mid-year? Wow. That's an insight. That's a very interesting question. What's the best way to ensure portfolio funding stays aligned when strategy shifts mid-year? Zipporah, what are your thoughts about that?
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, Carine. It's really interesting.
good.
But yeah, like if at the beginning of that project, the PMO had embedded a strategic objective within the PM project direction,
Yeah.
what made it to be funded within at the beginning anyway.
Yeah.
So if the strategy changes and we go back to the reprioritization table and we realize this project, even though it is funded, it is no longer a priority. Then it means it is true we may think about refunding or additional funding, but we will first of all think about the priority projects. What is a high value project to be implemented that aligns with the changed strategic objective? And then again, as we move on with the implementations, we also need to understand then where does this project that we were implementing for? Is this something we need to really cost avoid and cut it completely off? Or is this something that we need to improve in terms of what it was delivering to a bigger outcome? And then we can measure how much funds do we need in addition to it and what is its priority again. So I think the very basic and first thing I would do is to understand what is the priority of the projects that I have in my portfolio after the strategic stage, because every one of them must have been embedded to a strategic objective or goal. And then go back to the management and have that discussion, because that's the only way we will reprioritize and have the right high value projects delivered first.
Yeah, yeah. Great, thank you. So I think that which you mentioned during your presentation, a lot of collaboration helps, right? How can the PMO be running a project and then strategy has changed mid-year and then the PMO is not aware, right? That can be avoided when there's so much collaboration, so that the PMO should be driving the strategy for the business, all right? So if at any point strategy is changing, the PMO is the best person to drive that change. So if we keep the collaboration going. We wouldn't have that issue whereby PMO is running and strategy has changed and nobody is aware, right? So these things happen. We see it all the time, right? So that's why we are saying that it's about the perception. So when that perception change, that look, we are not just a call center, PMO will be involved in all the conversation, right? And then that last question, yes, okay, so value management office. Yes, if the ultimate goal of the PMO is to deliver value, why do we need to introduce the concept of value management office? All right, again, if you run in the PMO, you would know that you are the center of the business, right? You are supposed to be driving the strategy for the business. So then if value management is separated from the PMO, right? What do we want to achieve? So for us, most of the times, but I don't know about you, but I feel that some of the things that have been running in the past, that we are beginning to see that that's a reason why we are not making so much impact. We have to begin to be asking for some of these policy changes, right? Let's work together. Okay, let's work together. Why is PMO running a running project and there's another team managing value, right? It will be better if we work together, have one team, and then one team is driving the strategy for the business. I think we can avoid all these pitfalls, and then we would get much more value in our strategies. I haven't seen any strategic. Okay, so let me say that most of the time, strategy sessions, a lot of attention is not given to the PMO. No, it is when they are done with the strategy, then they come and tell you, PMO, this is where we want to go. So make it happen, right? But then let's begin to look at a lot of collaboration. It will help us a lot. So that's what I would like to add to that. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, that quiz that I've been telling you about, that you get a chance to receive such elite membership of the PMO global community, the time is here. So I'll invite Sanjana to take that up for us. Then we can come back and conclude. Thank you so much. We would still like to hear from you. You can put it in the chat just for the consumption of all the other audience. Thank you. Over to you, Sanjana.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Carine and Zipporah. It was indeed an insightful session by you two wonderful ladies. And I think I'll quickly jump to the quiz. And this is the Kahoot quiz where I would just want everyone to keep their phones ready. And the exciting part is that all of you, the winner gets the one free elite membership, PMOGI elite membership, which is $89 worth. So I'll just share my screen shortly, and you can go through the quiz and scan the QR code and the pin, and then we'll get started. I hope everyone is ready with their phones. Can I get a thumbs up from everyone? I'll quickly start. Everyone, requesting you to please scan the QR code and just put in the game pin.
Sanjana, the sound probably, yeah, you need to adjust the sound. Yeah.
Is the sound audible?
Sanjana, just one quick thing, that you stop sharing and start sharing again with the sound, on, keeping it on. Yeah.
Just a minute. More participants, please. We want more and more participation. Shall I wait for 1 minute more for the participants to enter? The winner gets the $89 worth free Elite PMOGI membership. So it's a great opportunity to get access to all the premium resources offered by PMOGI through the membership. I think I can go ahead. I can start the quiz. Please start answering. Please start answering quickly. Please start putting in your answers. We have a timer here. The next question, this is the second question. Oh wow, everybody has given the right answer, it seems here. The third question. I hope all the answers, everybody has given the answers for this question as well. Oh, again, everyone has given the right answers.
Wow.
And I think let's see who's topping the leaderboard. It's Laura topping the leaderboard with 2,300 points. Wow, I'm jumping to the next question. Let's see if this one also everyone answers the right, gives the correct right answer. Time's up for this answer. Oh, again, everybody has given the right answer. Oh, and the leaderboard has changed. Jumping to the next question. They're getting answers quickly here. Oh, this is a mixed answer. Let's see who's topping the leaderboard after this. Oh, Laura again. Laura is at the top again. So we have just 5 questions left. We're halfway there. Yes, the answers are coming in. Oh, nice. Only one person gave the incorrect answer. And Laura stays at the top. The 7th question. Let's see if this one is also answered perfectly. Oh, it's a mix. And the leaderboard doesn't change. Everyone, please gear up. The last 3 questions are left.
Yeah, you should start some tough questions at the tree. Yeah.
I think the last 3 questions. Let's see. Oh, again a mixed answer. So the first option is correct. And we have Laura again topping the charts. Buck up, everyone. Just 2 questions left. This is the second last question, and it has been answered perfectly. And yes, the topper stays Laura, but there's a very minute difference. The last question of the Kahoot quiz, and then we'll know the winner of the one free PMOGI Elite membership. And we are done with the last answer, and I think we have the scoreboards, and it has changed. The winner is Laura Hoses and Zebra 3. I hope I would request Zebra 3 to just put in their email ID in the chat box, and we'll get back to you with the prize and your offer of the Elite membership. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this quiz. I hope it was engaging and it was fun. Carine, over to you. We have the winner here. I would just request the winner again, Zebra3, to just put in their email ID and their name in the chat box, and we'll get back to you ASAP.
Great. Thank you so much, Sanjana. Indeed, that was fun and then exciting as well. So all too soon, we've come to the end of today's session. You will agree with me that indeed it has been such an engaging and practical sessions. Okay, so I think we have the email for you, Sanjana. Yes, so it's been an engaging and then a practical session. We have learned that maximizing the financial impact of the PMO, it requires strategic alignment. That is very key. Data-driven decision making, which is also key, and then clear communication of value. So that is how we kind of wrap up for you. So on behalf of the entire community, on behalf of Zipporah, Wanjiku, our speaker, and myself, I would like to thank you so much for making the time to join us. We hope you are living with actionable ideas that will strengthen the financial influence of your PMO. And then we look forward to seeing you at our future events. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the day. It's bye from us. Bye-bye.